Hey friends, and welcome back to the 1211 podcast. We are so glad you're here. I'm Tabitha.
And I'm Jennifer. This podcast is a space where we share stories that reflect what God is doing in the lives of real people. Stories of hope, faith, loss, and redemption. Our heart behind every episode is that you would hear these journeys and know that you're not alone. And know that no matter what season you're walking through, God is present, He is faithful, and He's writing something beautiful.
Today's episode is one that's deeply personal. It's full of raw moments, incredible miracles, and God's sustaining grace through seasons no one ever expects to walk. We're honored to sit down with Aaron and Ashley Hice, a couple whose journey has taken them through the highest joys and the deepest grief. And yet, they continue to trust God like never before.
Aaron and Ashley will share a story that began like many others. They met, fell in love quickly, got married, and started a beautiful family with two healthy boys, Nolan and Lucas. But life shifted drastically after Ashley experienced a sudden stroke following Lucas's birth, a moment that changed everything.
That turning point marked the beginning of a faith journey that would stretch them beyond anything they imagined. From medical crises, surprise pregnancies, miraculous moments, and unspeakable loss, to where they are now, learning how to live, love, grieve, and believe again.
Aaron and Ashley, thank you for being our guest.
Thank you.
We're truly honored that you would choose to be here with us. So, your story has already inspired so many people, and I know that it's going to touch the heart of everyone who listens here on the podcast as well. So we're humbled that you would do this for us. Welcome.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Before we dive into your story, we're going to have fun. We're going to have our rapid fire round. Just 10 questions. Don't overthink it like I do.
Okay.
So are you guys ready?
All right.
Yes. All right. And you can both answer every question, okay?
Okay.
So coffee or tea?
Coffee.
And a certain kind of coffee, certain way that you like your coffee, hot, cold?
I'm an iced person, but I like it at home. Like, I really like home
You like
coffee.
to make your
I
coffee. Brought your own cup of coffee.
Yeah, I'm a hot coffee guy too. I mean,
Or you're hot. Not
yeah, I'm hot. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's
Your
good.
coffee, though. No.
Yeah.
No
You
tea.
know, no, we do. I mean, we've got to get coffee most of the time. We're like,
That's
we,
right.
we make it like at home just the way we like it. So yeah.
That's good. Are y'all like black or creamer or like sugar in the whole? What do you like?
We like dark roast coffee and the Italian sweet cream.
Oh, that's my favorite.
That's our go-to.
That's our go-to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with that, right?
Yeah. But mine's like creamer with a little bit of coffee in it.
Yeah.
I gotta be really light colored.
Thank you. Yes, I
love you.
That's right. That is me. We used to have a sign in our kitchen that said that because when Anna Claire was little,
that's
like when she was little, maybe like 4 or 5, she started being a coffee drinker. But she'd put like 3/4 of a cup of creamer and like 1/4 of a cup of coffee. So our sign said, "I like my creamer with a little coffee."
Yeah,
our sign
yeah.
said. So yeah, I get
That's
that. Yeah.
Early birds or night owls?
I've shifted. I used to like stay up, put the kids to bed. She'd go to bed and I'd stay up, play PlayStation, watch a show, watch a movie. And now it's like, she gets in, we'll start a show and I'm out.
Yeah.
I can't stay up late no more.
Yeah.
I would say I'm an early bird because I'm not a night owl.
Yeah.
Like, I can't stay up anymore. Like he said, when we used to,
Right.
we would binge a show. I mean, we were crazy bingers when it comes to our favorite shows, but we can't do it. I mean, we got to sleep.
You got a little bit more like sucking life out of you now, right?
Yeah.
Like,
But I'm also like the person that will wake up early and be singing in there and listening to music. And I've been around friends and they're like, "Don't talk to me till..." They're like, "You're a little too chipper." Because
I
I'm
can't
up.
start the day this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, luckily our whole house, people, the boys.
Yeah, they're
like,
morning people.
That's
they're
nice.
in a good mood, ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes it so easy if you have kids that are easy to get up for school and stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think about like families who like every morning is a battle and I'm like, oh, it's so hard.
No, I mean, it always used to be easy, but I mean, Lucas, bless him. But yeah, we're definitely, I would say, morning people now.
Good.
sometimes we laugh and say, "What if you're neither?" And that's like kind of how I feel. Like that. I don't really like getting up and
Oh, I just
yeah. Honestly, I said I really
It's
don't
like
like could be. Like, what is technical early bird or night? Like, I mean, as long as I have enough sleep, I can be either one. But okay, this is a question that when I wrote it, I was like, I don't even know if I would know how to answer this or remember it. So, what was the first concert you ever went to? Do you remember?
Together?
Or no, just your first concert.
We've talked about that.
This is
I
funny.
think our first concert was the same concert.
Oh wow,
I think we were both there.
Shania Twain
Twain.
in Nashville.
that's awesome.
We looked up the date, and so like I went with my sisters and my dad, and I was telling him about the Shania Twain concert, and he's like, "I went to that concert." Like we were both there.
That's great.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's a cool coincidence.
Mhm.
Where was that? Like it was at Bridgestone or whatever. What?
It was
I'm assuming it was a Bridgestone. It was not. We were.
I feel like it was an outdoor arena.
Mine was Bridgestone or
Well,
whatever the Nashville indoor
Yeah.
was. I guess it was
whatever his name was. At
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
90s.
I'm sure if my dad listens to this, he'll be like, "No, it wasn't there."
Yeah, he'll correct you.
I'm sure.
Like if you're still wondering.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man. One thing you always keep in your car.
Ooh.
What do I always keep? Everything.
That's what I would say. Too. Like at our house.
I mean, I have all the extra stuff.
Yeah.
Napkin.
Yeah.
I'm a big go to a restaurant and I'm really bad, but like I'll grab a handful
Yeah.
and just put it in the car. Aaron's always like, "Why do you always grab all the napkins?" I'm like, you gotta always have them in the car. I've got Taco Bell, Chick-fil-A. I've got
I need extra napkins.
I always, because you never know. So I always have that in my car. What's that?
I've always got like water. You use it every time I leave the house. I've
Yeah.
got
Yeah, there always is.
a cup of water.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. No problem. All right. What as you're texting, do you have a most used emoji?
I always use. I over emoji. I will honestly say.
Yeah.
My sisters will say things like that to me, or my friends will say, "Man, you over emoji." I'm like, I really do. I kind of text like I'm a teenager. But
No shine like that.
yeah, it's fine.
Fine, yeah.
I love it. It's fine.
Mine's the slanted crying. If I'm laughing.
Yeah, whatever. Like,
I know.
the one that's like shining on the
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Don't feel
Yeah.
I'm laughing emoji.
No.
Your favorite date night spot.
What would we say our favorite? This is really sad.
Well, no, I think this is so true because most couples, when you're in the seasons of just parenting, it's like, do we take what date night?
when was the last
that?
time? I'm
Sometimes, yeah,
Dang it.
Yeah. I mean, we enjoy when we have the chance. Like we do like trying like new restaurants. It's something.
Yeah.
We're big foodies.
Yeah, we just put people.
Yeah.
We do have the chance that we can get out for more than just like a quick
yeah,
hour. Like we'll try to find a new restaurant and
Yeah.
surrounding areas. And
Yeah.
try something.
that's fine.
I would say we like to try new places if we go. So I wouldn't say we have a favorite
Yeah,
spot.
yeah.
I hate
As
that.
long as there's food involved, like a restaurant, that's kind of we build the date around
that's right.
where we're gonna eat at, and then we'll figure.
I'll correct that. We always try to go to coffee after we go to dinner.
Yeah,
We always
Yeah.
see coffee right after dinner. He'll always say, "Want coffee?" Some people do ice cream. We do coffee.
that's
So
right.
that's what we do.
Yeah, that's a little hard to do sometimes though, because like coffee shops are not open.
Oh my goodness, yes.
They close at like 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
One of the funniest stories, and I say this to y'all every time I think when I do marriage classes and stuff, y'all always come up because I'm married to an only child too, Aaron. So I talk about the story y'all shared about like one of your first dates where she was gonna like take a bite of your
Oh my
food.
God, I was gonna share that.
It was the first.
It was
Tell that
the
story
first
because I think it is
day.
this is such like a picture. of
So
God.
Aaron and I's first date. We went to an Italian restaurant. We went to a few different spots. It literally just kept going. You want to go to PetSmart? Do you want to walk? Things like that. We went to an Italian restaurant, and I got raviolis, and he got what?
Lasagna.
I guess lasagna. And I was like, "Man, this is so good. Do you want a bite?" And because I was going to share with him, letting him know, like, "Hey," and he's like, "Okay, yeah, sure." And I'm like, "How's yours?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's good." And that was it. He didn't even offer to share or anything. I was expecting he'd say the same thing. He goes, yeah, it's good. I'm like, okay. And I found out that day, and he looks at me and goes, yeah, I don't share my
And I love it. Like, no, I don't share my food. I'm like, that is such an only child. I don't share my food.
Oh, he doesn't. Still to this day.
The rules.
It's kind of how Jason is too, because sometimes we'll go places and I'll be. That's why I tell the story, because I'll tell him about Jason. I'm like, oh, and I'm like, do you want to share a meal? And he's like, oh, no, not really.
Oh, never.
Yeah,
Never.
I don't really want to share a meal.
We ain't saving money just to share a meal. He's not sharing a meal.
Well, that's how Jason is, and he's like, I mean, if you don't want to eat it all, like, just don't eat it all. But I don't want to share my meal. So I'm like. So one of the things I think is true in parenting is you get all kinds of advice from people, right? I'm about to be a grandmother for the first time, and I'm trying not to be the one that's like, all the things that she needs to do, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep my mouth quiet. And I'm doing pretty good right now, I think. But no, when the baby gets here, it might be a different story. Let's just be full disclosure. But what was some of the best parenting advice you've ever received? Or something you just kind of like that someone suggests that you kind of try to live by?
I think just since just everything that's happened, I think the whole thing with it can wait has really resonated with me. Like, the dishes can wait, the laundry can wait. I mean, they're only little for so long. Like that, I'm a huge believer in just it can wait. Like, all that does not matter. It is not a priority in my life. My kids are, not the dishes. And some would say, I can't leave the dishes there. Like, I can't, it's overwhelming. But for me, if it's playing outside with my kids or doing dishes, I'm going to pick that over that. So I would say when someone told me it can wait.
Yeah.
So
that's good advice. That's hard for me to follow that advice.
Me too, but it's probably the best advice that I've ever gotten.
Good.
So,
yeah.
I think, people, what I've told, parents is, just do it the way you want to do it,
Yeah.
You can take, everybody's got opinions. Everybody's going to tell you this bottle, that bottle, this schedule, no schedule.
Let them cry it out.
Let them cry it out. I'll let them cry it out. Hold them. It's all this stuff is just do what you want.
Yeah.
It's your kid.
Yeah.
What feels best for you, what is best for your family.
Like,
you can take all the opinions and you can do what you want to.
Filter them, right?
Filter it out and just do what you want.
And I say that I've said this to my grandchildren. It's like, as a parent, you get to a season in your life where you realize you just do the best you know to do in that moment. Like you said, do what you think is right. Prayerfully, you're not going to be reckless or whatever. Do what you think is right. And then you may look back and go, oh, that wasn't the best decision, but you do what you think is right in the moment, and then trust God. I just trust God's grace with the rest of what I say.
Right.
And the more kids you have, the more you realize that stuff does not matter.
Exactly right. That's what our girls say about with Colson being so much younger. They're like, Mom, you never would have. I said, you're right. But I said, life puts things in perspective for you a little bit. Like, I'm older, I'm more tired, and also, I'm not trying to please anyone like I was when I was in my 20s, right? I do what I think is the right thing to do. And so
the diaper bag gets smaller, the more kids you have.
Yeah.
You can tell when you're a first parent that turtle shell you had on your back versus the little diaper and wipes that you carry.
Maybe you don't even have them. You're asking someone else.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember we had Nolan, right? I was researching crib sheets and this mattress is a cooling mattress, all the his pajamas got to be this type, by the time poor little Riley came along.
I mean, he was the third kid.
Yeah, and it's you're in your bed, sleep in it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I feel like too, because the girls will be like, wow, you would have never let us do that. I'm like, yeah, I probably should have let you do that.
Yeah.
It's way too hard on you. I expected way too much. I should just let you be a kid.
Yeah.
That's all going to be fine.
Yeah.
So, that's good advice. Very good advice.
A word that describes your family.
I would say resilient. I think our boys even just trickled down to them. They've been through a lot in their little life, and they're tough little boys, and they're resilient little dudes.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a great word.
And just with us having to pull it together and be strong for them and be strong for each other. That's a good word.
Yeah, very good word.
I'm gonna back that up.
Yeah. So what is one thing, or it could be one person or one situation, one thing that always makes you laugh?
I would say my kids.
Yeah.
They crack me up. Especially, well, I don't want to say just Nolan and just Lucas, but both of them will say the darnest thing. And you're like, where did you hear that? They do. They crack me up. They'll say things randomly and I just die laughing. I'm like, say that again. What? I'm not going to repeat it. I'm like, no, that was hilarious. I need you to say it again.
And
I would
you
say
people tell you
that.
to write all that stuff down and then you don't, and you wish you would have.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so good. The stuff
Yes.
kids come out with.
Yeah. But yeah, I would say my kids. Who would you say?
Like my little group of friends that I have, like, you know, so I don't have
Yeah.
any siblings, but you know, they're like my brothers. A couple of them I grew up with since kindergarten, and just like when we get together and, you know, just tell little war stories, you know.
Yes.
There's just those moments of, like, because we're at the age of life now, like, we don't get to make new stories now. We just get together and just
Relive.
relive and tell old stories.
They do.
And-
Every time they're together, they just laugh and laugh and laugh
I love that.
and laugh.
Yeah.
That's cool that you've had those friends for that, like through all those seasons.
Yeah.
Which is really a true gift.
Yeah. I tell them that all the time. I nurture that. Like, always keep hold of that.
Absolutely.
I mean, I moved around a lot as a kid, and I said to have the same childhood friend since what, kindergarten?
Yeah, a couple of them.
Since kindergarten, and have been through all of his seasons and his wedding and everything. So it's crazy.
It's really, really very special.
Mhm.
It's unusual in the world we live in, honestly, to be able to say that. That's cool.
Absolutely. Current worship song that's been on repeat.
My boys and I listen to Forrest Frank in the morning before school.
Yeah.
I just love him. Like,
Yeah.
shout out to him.
It's
It's
real good.
It's feeling good. It's like, literally, hey, Google, can you play Forrest Frank? I mean, every morning we listen to him just so they know. I don't know. I just always try to play worship music around them just to kind of give good vibes and stuff. He's been on repeat a lot. So I hear The Rock all the time, the new song he has, Lemonade.
We started doing that
Constantly.
in church, so they love that one too.
Oh, Lucas constantly. He's over there whipping, you know, like doing a dance and stuff to it. I like that one. And what's the other one that I've been listening to? I can't remember the artist's name, and I feel really bad about this, but it's just the song called Honest. And I think you maybe know it. I don't want to sing it, but it, you know, it starts with a "Can I be honest?"
Yeah.
Like all those questions
Yeah.
that I've had throughout many seasons, especially this season. That song really resonates with me. I would say that would be my favorite one.
Yeah.
I keep going back to that. It's probably, but, like, I don't know. Even though it makes me emotional every time I hear it, but that the miracles, like the Million Little Miracles.
Yeah.
I listen to that one a lot. I don't know. It just kind of is weird. It sounds like if I just kind of want to have a moment, I feel like I just kind of be connected
Yeah.
to, like, Riley, and know, like, it just I'll just kind of sit and listen to that song. And I've listened to that a lot.
Yeah.
He just mentioned that. I'm going to say Good Plans.
Yeah.
So the song that we played at Riley's funeral.
Uh-huh.
Every time I hear it, I think of Riley. Every single time. We sing it in church, and I think of Riley. I can just see. So.
Well, thanks for playing along for our little game.
That wasn't hard.
But let's dive into your story. Aaron, we talked and text back and forth to prepare for the podcast. You mentioned something that I think stands out. You said, I think our story starts pretty standard and easy. So that's where I want you to start today, is unpacking that for us. Tell us about how you guys met and those early days of marriage, and then kind of like journey into parenthood. Just kind of unpack your story for us from the beginning.
You want me to share on that?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So we actually met online. We met on Facebook. So we're always going to keep that. Shout out to it. So we met on Facebook. I just kind of kept clicking on random people that were, because back on Facebook, there used to be a column to the side that would say people you may know.
Yeah.
And I was friends with Thomas Kremer. I've known him since I was a teenager, I guess. And it came up like people you may know because of this person. I'm like, well, he's a good person, so I'm just gonna start clicking. I gotta start making friends.
Right.
And I just moved to Tennessee, and so I was clicking away, and he was one of the clicks that I clicked on. And I get a random message from Aaron that's like, do I know you from somewhere? He was very pursuing, let's just say that. And he probably very persistent. He probably tried for 2 months. Like, he would just message me like, hey, how are you doing? And it wasn't creepy. Like, let me just throw that out there. It was like, it sounds creepy when I'm saying it, but it wasn't. He said, do I know you? I got a friend request for you. And I said, oh, I was just adding people. I wasn't trying to be creepy. So anyways, him and I just kind of messaged casually here and there for like 2.5 months. And that 3rd month, he asked me on a date. And I was like, no, just in the season of my life at the time, like, I wasn't ready for a relationship. I did not need to be in a relationship. And I think at the end of that month, he was telling me he was getting a puppy. And I had a black lab at the time named Maddox. And I always talked about my dog constantly. And he kept trying. And finally, he's like, look who I got. And he showed me a picture of this beautiful golden, yeah, he did, at this cute little golden retriever puppy, and said, she's coming home with me. And I was like, I have to see this dog. Well, there you go.
It worked.
It did.
So it's advice for those young gentlemen out there.
Use a dog.
Whatever.
So I always say jokingly that I got my dog and my wife in the same week.
Yeah, he got her on Tuesday, and he met me that Friday. Yeah. So.
And Liddy's still with us 13 years later.
She is.
She's still going.
So we went on our first date, or actually it was at Starbucks. He met me for coffee. By the way, I did not drink coffee before I met Aaron at all. I never drank it. That was like for old people.
Yeah.
Quote unquote. For old people to drink. I didn't drink any coffee. And I had never drank coffee before. So my first drink of coffee, let's just say there was a lot of conversation. It was
Yeah.
and
At the end of the day, I'm like, she's a beautiful girl. She's sweet, great story. Man,
she can talk.
You know.
and he'll tell me sometimes, like, did you drink coffee already this morning? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, okay. Like, sometimes I need to, like, really back it up. And anywho, we went on our first date, and then it goes to that part where he didn't share his food. Found that out. Yeah, it was great. Our interests really were, and how we even really went on our first date was that I had never really met someone as handsome as him that went to the same denomination as me. Like, so I grew up in the Nazarene church. I mean, really, like, truly, I grew up, in Florida, this small church. Right. And Nazarene churches are normally very small community churches. Yeah. And so not a lot of people in my town went to a Nazarene church that were like, available. Like,
those beliefs.
And so that's what really attracted me to him, that he went to church. Like, his faith was like a big thing. He played in the band, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And on our second date, literally on the second date that night, it was Saturday night, he was like, do you want to go to church with me in the morning? And I'm like, who invites a girl to church? Like, he's pretty bold. I'm like, sure. We were just on our second date, and we walk into church, and he just starts introducing me as his girlfriend. And I'm like, yes, he did. Yes, he did. I remember shaking your mom's hand, and your papa, bless his sweet soul, Papa was like, now, Aaron, is this your girlfriend? I'm like, looking at him with eyes as big as meatballs, like, I am not your girlfriend. But I guess it confirmed it, that I was his girlfriend. But anywho, we dated for a while, probably about 1.5 years, and he popped the question. Finally, I was waiting for quite some time, pretty eager. He took me to the Smokies. At that point, after we started dating, I really started liking coffee. So coffee was our thing. Mm-hmm. And he proposed to me in a cabin, just me and him. And he put the ring inside of coffee grounds.
Yeah.
And he got a coffee mug made that said my initials on it. like my future initials monogram. It was the cutest thing.
Good job.
It was so sweet. I just kept thinking to myself, like, how did he think of this himself? Like, how did he do this? All my friends knew, all my sisters knew. They're like, finally we can get the secret out. It was awesome. So we were engaged for like a year and a half. And then we got married on August 1st of 2015. It was so hot.
I just celebrated a big anniversary.
Yeah. We just celebrated 10 years being married.
Beautiful wedding, by the way.
Oh,
Y'all look
thank you.
like every time I see your picture pop up on Facebook, when you guys are outside your reception venue, I'm like, this needs to be in a magazine. Every time I say that, I'm like, they're magazine people.
Oh, I appreciate that.
How can that be?
Yeah, we got married. I do want to say this. Aaron's a humongous football fan, huge sports fan. And when we got engaged, he said, listen, I love you. And I said, I want to have a fall wedding. Like, I want to, and look at he's shaking his head now. No. He was like, listen, I love you, but.
You can get married wherever you want, how you want. I don't care, but we're not having a fall wedding.
We're not having a fall wedding. I think we got married on the bye week, didn't we?
I was supposed to see my story.
Because it was so hot. Anyways, we got married then, and then we were married about a year, and I kind of wanted to go to the doctor to kind of see, like, I didn't know like how getting pregnant worked. Like, obviously not how it works, but Lord help me. I guess I meant like I didn't know if you needed to go to the doctor before, just to make sure you're good, you're ready to have kids. There wasn't anything wrong with me, so I went to the doctor just to check. And I can't really remember what happened at the doctor, kind of what I found out. But she was saying, like, right now, I think I ended up, like, getting on some medication or something that I didn't really need to start having kids. And we started trying, actually, like, when, like, maybe...
we've always been blessed with all 3 kids, and we've always been...
Yeah.
We've recognized that, and been sensitive to that. Some people have trouble having kids, and we were blessed that we
never had an issue.
Decided, like, hey, I think let's have a family. Yeah, that's like a month later. It's like, okay.
Yeah, that really is really a blessing. Because when you get to a certain age, and that's kind of where you are trying to have kids, you recognize how many people that's not the story for, right? Yeah, and it's truly a blessing if you decide you want to have kids, and you can.
Yeah, and that is the way you thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
you grew up and married, and what do you say? Yeah, for us, we were lucky. We recognize how blessed we were that, our 1 year anniversary, we went to Destin for a 1 year anniversary, and we found out the night before we left.
The night before we left.
Spread it on all.
Yeah, literally, it was like, I got you an anniversary gift. And the crazy thing was I was at work, and I came home on my break, and kept telling my sister, like I called her that morning, Samantha, and I was like, I feel like I'm pregnant. It's like things are weird. I feel weird. I don't know. And she's like, just go ahead and take a pregnancy test. And I took one on my break, and sure enough, I took 3 more, and I was like, this is happening. Like, this is happening. She goes, okay, you're married. Everything's good. Like, y'all are in a good place. You've been married for a year. I'm like, okay. Surprised them. We found out.
It's funny. The first person, so we literally were leaving for vacation the next morning, and we're like, just so excited. New parents. We're like, we just got to tell. So we went to tell my parents, but the first person we told was actually a random waiter down in Destin. Like, we got there that night, and we got there, went dinner that night, and he came out, and he's like, all right, he said, and he started reading the drink special. He's like, would y'all like, would y'all like to drink? I'm like, well, she can, because she's pregnant. I'm like, he's like, oh, I was like, you're the first person we've told this. And
Aaron was so excited. He was like, you're the first person I've actually said anything to. That was exciting. It was just, new and fresh and all that.
So those first, the first 4 years of our life was pretty, or our marriage was, like you said, it was just kind of just standard and easy, and kind of the American dream. We got married and bought a house, had good jobs, and had Nolan, easy pregnancy, great baby, and
I was pregnant.
And then we were like, hey, 2 years later, we were like, we did talk about, like, we wanted kids close together and all that. And we're like, hey, are we ready to try this again? And literally, like, 1 month later, we was pregnant with Lucas. And we were blessed. And it was just, things were easy. Like, we the Disney trips, the beach trip, all the
stuff.
You know, it was just it was kind of on cruise control.
We were, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really nice. I found out I was pregnant with Lucas. Nolan was 1.5 years. And I found it. And I thought that was like really close. And I was working with Ken Bishop.
Mm-hmm.
This is hilarious. But with Lucas and Riley, I found out at work that I was pregnant. In the bathroom in the back.
You just ran down to Walmart?
Yep. Ran down to Walmart. Took a pregnancy test. I'll never forget. It was hilarious. Came around that corner. I'm like sobbing. I'm like, it's serious. But found out I was pregnant with Lucas, and I loved being pregnant. Like, I know how, and like what Aaron, said, like, we had easy pregnancies. Like, we really didn't have to try to get pregnant. We were very blessed in that area. And my pregnancies were great. I loved being pregnant. I loved having that big belly, and I still did everything. Nothing stopped me. Very, very easy. But then I had Lucas, and everything was fine, and had an easy delivery. Beautiful boy. I was fine. As soon as I delivered him, I'm like, can somebody hand me my makeup bag? I don't put some makeup on. I'll never forget doing that, because then people started coming in, and it was probably a couple of hours after I had Lucas.
Good.
Thomas and Tracy.
It was that night.
It
was after everybody had left.
Yeah.
It was just me.
Yeah, Thomas and Tracy just came to visit, because I remember she brought me like a strawberry slushie. And I thought maybe that's what it was. And I started feeling really weird, like super shaky, felt very dizzy. I was actually breastfeeding Lucas, and so I was multitasking, eating a snack or something. And all of a sudden, I think my vision started going. And I asked Aaron to take Lucas, because I'm like, something's happening, I don't know. And that's kind of it. All I remember is just blacking out. And then, if you want to take it away, because I don't really remember anything from that point.
I think it was like, I was more than her, because like I had to like.
Did you remember it? You experienced
I remember it. She don't remember none of it.
No.
Those first few days, and yeah, because she told me, she's like, I don't really feel too good, because she was breastfeeding Lucas there, and so I took him. I mean, literally, it was like, I took him from her, laid him down in a little bassinet, got him like wrapped up, and I turned around, like she was just like limp. She was laying there like nothing. And so the doctor, the page and nurses come running in there, and immediately they come in and they hit like a rapid button, and then the room is just full of doctors, and I'm like, this is all within like a 2 or 3 minute span. I'm like,
what's happening?
What is happening? And they did some like quick little tests, and they wheeled her out, and they said, we think she's had a stroke. We need to like go, like we have to go do like an MRI real quick. And I'm like,
oh,
a stroke? I'm like, she just was nursing him, and I was there by myself, because I said everybody done left and was home, and that was just a whirlwind of a night, because they rushed her away, and when they came back, we were in St. Thomas and Murfreesboro, and I can't. They transferred her to St. Thomas in Nashville, because what was it? Oh, they didn't have like is it the CT scan or the MRI? They didn't have that machine they needed that night to do. So they came back and told me, there's like, she's in the ambulance, like we're taking her to Nashville. And I'm like, and I was trying. I just didn't know what to do. And there was a nurse there. She's from here that she was actually already she was actually already like her shift ended, because she was the one to help deliver, and she just stayed with me. She's like, hey, you got family coming? She's like, I'm just gonna stay with you until your family comes here, because I didn't know what the heck was going on.
Yeah.
So we take off to Nashville. Had to leave my newborn baby in Murfreesboro. I'm like, I'm like, he's here, and I got to go up here to Nashville, and that's when they found out she had they called it a a stroke, it was a mini stroke, and it hit her, and she couldn't talk, she didn't know where she was at, like she lost all like movement, and the face, all the signs of a stroke, and all that reality set in quick for me of like,
what now?
I have 2 children. I'm gonna have a potentially handicapped wife. That this, our whole, like I said, what had an easy cruise control life was just like ended in a moment. And
How old were you now at this point?
that was 2019, so I was trying to do math.
Hang on.
31. Right, I was 30. I've been 31 that year. Yeah.
I was 29.
Yeah. So yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
And so that throughout the course of that day, over the next say 24 to 48 hours, I said Lucas was in Murfreesboro in the nursery by himself, and we actually had some friends that had their baby that was in the same nursery at the same time. So they were sending us pictures of Riley. They were in the nursery with him, like, hey, he's doing great. So send us pictures of of Lucas. Yeah. And throughout the course of that day, it's kind of like, I'll never forget, like, she was laying there and like I don't know what you remember through all this. She said she don't remember much. Like,
I remember waking up and seeing people, and I was like, why is everybody in here?
And she couldn't she couldn't like talk. She couldn't like move.
No.
And of course we're all in there praying, and a room full of people just constantly. And I remember like a moment, it really was like she goes from like couldn't move to all of a sudden she's just like, it almost is like this fog just kind of lifted. And she's just like, and she couldn't talk, and she was like, she started like signing like she was needing to write. And I'm like,
no, Tracy suggested it.
I'm like, can you write? And she's like, shook her head, and I grabbed a pen and paper, and she goes from like where she can't even move to all of a sudden she writes, she's like, where am I? Like question mark. And that's when I was like, hey,
that's terrifying.
I had a really bad stutter.
Yeah,
so that's when I was happy.
Yeah, and she couldn't talk, and that's when I told her, I was like, hey, we're in Nashville. They think you've had a stroke. And then she was like, and we left the hospital. And again, that's kind of one of the first, I guess, miracle we, experienced. Like, she had this stroke, and within 48 hours, like, she walked out of the hospital. She went from, I couldn't even move, but she did have a really bad stutter. She couldn't talk for about 2 months, 2 or 3 months.
I don't think it was that long. If it was much, I'd probably say like a month.
It was a while. But I'll never forget, like, she couldn't, like, I don't know if he was around during that time, but like, she couldn't talk at all. She carried around a marker board and just wrote because she could not speak. And we kind of adapted. Like, hey, if this is the worst that came out of all this, is just speech. Like, well,
and I didn't really want to talk. Like, it was kind of embarrassing because I was just like, I can't even get a word out. Yeah. And Thomas was there bedside, and I think Tracy ended up going home, and she said, can she write? Genius. And I was just like, I'm like, yes, like, because I could not talk.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was like that for a while, and I had a newborn baby. I'm like, I can't even talk to my child.
Yeah.
And I remember just like breastfeeding him, and I can't remember who suggested this. I still can't remember who suggested it, but they're like, can you sing? And I'm like, I mean, I can sing, but I'm not going to try to sing. They're like, no, try to sing. Like, it helps with stutter. Like, when you're in a different, when your voice. So I just start singing, and it's like words would just come out. I would sing to him because I'm like, I don't want anyone else to hear me. What if I start stuttering? But like, apparently, like, if you do stutter from a traumatic event like that, if you start to sing, you're putting your voice in a different category. You're putting it in a different place. And it really helped me. Like, it helped me. I mean, I sang to him alone, like, when I was at the house, because Aaron had to go back to work.
Yeah.
So I was functioning. I was moving. I was just stuttering. So.
And then one Saturday morning.
Yeah,
it was a few weeks down the road. I can't remember the exact timeline, but it was several weeks. Like, one Saturday morning, like, we just kind of woke up and was laying there in bed. She's like, and she's like, what do you want for breakfast? And it was just like, plain as day. I was like, I was like, do what? She's like, what do you want for breakfast this morning? I'll go cook us breakfast. And I'm like, you just talk. I know, like, the first time, like, I heard her voice in like weeks.
We both sobbed. I mean, we hadn't gone through anything hard. And this is our first hard, time.
And by the way, it's a real hard.
Oh, it was really hard.
Got eased into hard. That was
hard. It was so hard. And like, we had a new baby, and I was experiencing postpartum,
Sure.
I was like, why does this keep happening to me? I just, had this pity party there for a while. And didn't even know what was in store later, but
through all that is when the doctors are really they always say, okay, this is stroke, but like, why? And that's when they found that she had a little small hole in her heart. It's actually kind of common, a lot of people, like, when they're born, there's like a little hole in their heart, it doesn't close.
Yeah, mine just never shut.
Shut. And postpartum, all the the clotting that happened naturally, a little blood clot slipped through there.
Wow.
So that's when we were advised, like, hey, until this gets fixed, it's a small procedure, that probably don't need to have any more kids, to eliminate the risk. And so
just delay it. They were like, we don't really need to jump into having kids right now. If that is your thought, I would probably give it some time. We really need to get Ashley's health under control. We need to really get her to a stable, healthy place. Sure. And mentally, I was not doing okay either. Yeah. So our whole goal, our goal was raising our boys, making sure they're healthy, gaining weight, and that I was healthy, stably, mentally and emotionally. And so that was our goal. And 7 months, Lucas was 7 months old. And like I said, we didn't have any trouble having kids. And I do want to make this a note that I was on birth control with Lucas. Like when I was on birth control after I had Lucas, because we were trying to prevent it. Right. Lucas is 7 months old, and I was at work. And all of a sudden I started feeling so dizzy. And I'm like, I'm feeling so dizzy. And Kim looked at me and she's like, the last time you said that, you were pregnant. And so took a pregnancy test and I was pregnant. I was shocked. I'm like, we cannot have a baby right now. Like, we cannot have a baby right now. Like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And I went home. I did not know how to tell Aaron, because I'm like, how are we going to do this? Like, I remember, this is really bad, but
when she came home, I could tell she was crying. And at that point, she was just having like some issues with this person, this kind of some like, little personal stuff they were working through. And she came home and she was crying. I was like, Thursday night football. She came home about 8. And I interrupted. Yeah, and I already like, cause she's like, I'll be home late tonight. So I already had the boys to bed, and finally sit down and kind of relaxed down a little bit. And she came home, she was crying, and I was like, what's wrong? She's like, it's done so again. And I'm like, listen, I don't want to. I'm kind of done.
He's like, can you just pause that?
I really. Like, don't have to figure this out. I'm kind of done hearing about this. Like,
it's interrupted my whole.
Yeah, I was like, oh my, y'all need to figure this out. Like,
yeah.
Seriously, come on now. And she kind of went on the bathroom. She came back. She's like, hey, can you pause the game? I was like, babe, I really don't have the energy for this.
They're really, like, he was into it.
It's
like, but you really need to pause
it. Like, I just don't have the energy to talk about this again tonight. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but just, I'm sorry, figure it out. Y'all can work this out. She goes, I'm pregnant. I'm like, pause.
He turned it off.
I'm like, hey, go, what?
He said to me,
I was like,
and I don't think people really realize, like, the gravity of that. I mean, we were just told.
I mean, 7 months before, I thought, like,
you're losing her.
Had she died,
Yeah,
so later we're pregnant.
Yeah. He had a lot of trauma from that. Like,
absolutely.
There's so much there that I always tell him to speak on, because I wasn't fully capable to do so. And there was a lot of trauma from that. He experienced a lot, and he thought he lost me, so that was pretty big. And when we were told this, I mean, we started thinking some crazy thoughts, some thoughts we never thought we would even discuss or talk about when you get pregnant. And I
mean, again, just looking back at the place that we were mentally at that time, like, it was traumatic, like terrifying about seeing her die from pregnancy, and then you get found out you're pregnant again. And that's when obviously we had a defining moment in our spiritual life then with Ashley, like, okay, God, like, you have to do something here. And we already, she came through it, and of like, hey, is this some kind of joke?
Right.
Like she, like we were doing the responsible things of not having children anymore, and we found out we did. And those first 2 or 3 weeks of finding out the news was had a lot of conversations with people, like, hey, like, what the heck do we do? Like, she literally about. I'm thinking
terrified, scared, and no words really properly.
Yeah, and I'm not like trying to like justify the the things that we talked about, thought about, but it was like, I was thinking, I'm like, we have 2 other kids that we're responsible for. I'm like, they need a mom.
Yeah.
I'm like, we can't go through. What if she has another stroke? What if we do lose her? And then now there's 3 kids that's going to grow up, without a mom. And those first few weeks was and we came to a place, and then again another kind of stepping point of our faith was like, okay, God, I don't get this. Like, we were being responsible. We're not just, and you bless us.
Be careless.
We're not being careless, but you've chose to bless us with another child. Like, we don't talk to her doctors, and they're like, hey, with knowing what happened last time, we're going to go into this pregnancy with different type of precautions. And we were like, okay.
Yeah.
And we started getting excited. Like, all right, 3 kids. Like, all right, we can do this. We were the first of our friend group to have 3 kids, and we're like, all right.
And 3 under the age of what, like 4?
It was
3 under 3. No one was. We found out almost like 4, wasn't it?
It was 3 under 4.
Yeah. One of the things I think I appreciate your vulnerability to say that, like, the fear of that moment caused you to think of all kinds of options, right?
Oh yeah.
And I think that's something that people need to hear too.
Yes.
I think when we're in a place of fear and desperation, it's very hard to keep our eyes fixed on what we know to be true.
Yeah.
Right? To kind of keep going back to that. So you talked to a lot of different people, you said. So talk about how did you kind of recenter what was pivotal in helping you recenter your focus during that time? Because I think it's not unusual when we find ourselves in really places that are terrifying, or where we can't kind of see how this is going to play out. So I think Tabitha could speak to that too, of like all the things that go through your mind of like possibilities of how we could fix this, or how this could be made better, or thinking sometimes even like when we're trying to do the right thing, or looking out for our other kids, or I know Tabitha shared some of that on here of her own journey with trying to process her health and going through thoughts that you're like, well, this would make everything better, right? Yeah.
Well, when we found out we were pregnant, just my sister knew. Like, I didn't even think about this, but I actually didn't tell my coworkers. I didn't find out at work, but I didn't tell them. And Aaron knew, and my sister knew. Just us 3 were the only 3 that knew, because shamefully, we started thinking about other options of how to, terminate.
Yeah.
And I didn't think it would ever, that I would ever think of something like that. Especially being married to him, and having the 2 perfect boys that I had. I just didn't want Aaron to have to go through that again. And we never told, I don't think, even his parents that. But we did. We pondered, and we reached out to our friends. We really, really confided in, Thomas and Tracy were really close to us, and we called them. And I remember talking to them. We like drove around town, and we called them on the phone and just kind of asked them, like, what do we do? We need y'all's help. Do we do this? Do we go along with this? I can't have Aaron go through this again. I can't go through this again. And Thomas really prayed for us in that moment, and him and Tracy were listening to us talk, and he just kind of casually said, guys, you can do this.
Yeah.
And he said, this is just the 3rd baby. And
I don't think it was like the 3rd baby that ever scared us.
No, it wasn't that. It was
like, I guess, like, as a husband and dad, like, I always feel like a sense of obligation to other kids. I'm like,
and you stare death in the face.
Yeah.
And
I think they kind of talked us off that little ledge that we were kind of balancing on, and they really did help us during that time to really say, God's got us. Like, he's going to get us through. That really was probably, other than the thing with after Lucas, that was probably the biggest pivotal point, because it could have been a whole different story. And
I think, and after and after talking to obviously doctors and the medical team, they definitely gave us a lot of reassurance through that. And And of course, as we talk more later on, I truly believe, God works miracles on this side of heaven through doctors and medical teams. And they reassure us, hey, we feel what happened. And so that's when we left that appointment. We were like, okay, all right, we got this. And then we started getting excited about
and we started telling.
We started telling people, and we're like, hey.
They were shocked.
And started,
they were like, what?
And like for the first time in of those first several weeks, for the first time, we allowed ourselves to start envisioning what life was going to be like. Hey, we're going to have 3 kids. This is going to be fun.
And I was like,
we're going to have
maybe we can get a girl.
We have nothing but yet. There's no girls on our side of the family.
No girls.
We're like, maybe we'll have. What if we have 3 boys? What if we have a girl? You start all the it's fun, and so we started getting excited, and all the things you do when you get a new baby, kind of start thinking about names, and it was at our 20-week anatomy scan. It's funny too, 'cause we went in for 16 weeks to do the gender. We wasn't even gonna do gender, but we talked about maybe do we just wait on this one?
We just never.
We was like maybe we don't. And so the ultrasound went in. The ultrasound technique literally put the probe on Ashley's belly. And as soon as she did, Riley was laying there on his back, legs straight out.
There are no surprises.
And she just takes it off real fast and looks at it. She goes,
"Did you see that?
Did y'all know already?" We're like, "I do now." And so he made his appearance grim, right there. So we found out that
I became a boy mom officially.
And we went back for the 20-week anatomy scan, and they did all the things. And I'll never forget, we had it in Murfreesboro, and we were waiting for the doctor to come back in. And I'll never forget, we were talking about where
we're going.
Come up and what we're gonna eat for lunch when we leave here.
We always did.
And we were naming off the place. And I'll never forget, there was a new breakfast place by the hospital, and I heard they got really good pancakes.
Chit-chatting it up.
Let's go there. And she came in, and we could just tell when she walked in, this is different, because this has been the same doctor we've had. And that's when she told us, hey, she's like, based on the ultrasound today, saw a couple things. She said we saw that he has, it looks like there's a heart defect, and they called it a thick nuchal fold, or something they look at. They measure with the babies on the back of his neck. And she's
thickening of the neck.
There's a thickening of the neck. And she said, and that's usually a sign of Down syndrome. And she said, and with the heart defect and that, it kind of leads us to believe there's a high probability of Down syndrome and he has a heart defect. So we're going to send you guys to Nashville for Vanderbilt, Maryland. And, and we left there. And I remember it was like, I don't even know if we cried when we left. I think it was just the shock and numb of we literally came, that was one of my first moments of really, I say first moments, there was definitely those times of questioning God, what the heck?
Yeah.
I lost Ash. Now you give us a baby. We trust you. It's okay, God, you give us another baby. You've got Ash. You're going to protect her through this. All right, we're going to do this. Let's roll. And then we get hit with this news. And I remember we were leaving. I don't think we cried. I think we were just so stunned of what?
Yeah.
What is this? What does this mean?
I heard Charlie Brown, the voice on Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
That's all I heard. She said Down syndrome and heart defect. And I didn't hear anything else she said.
Yeah.
I literally, do y'all have any questions? I'm just and when she walked in, like Aaron said, she walked in with a tissue box. I'm like, she never has a tissue box. Oh, that's weird. What's she doing?
Yeah.
She's like, what y'all talking about? We're places we're going to eat. Why do you have a tissue box in your hand? And, she delivered the news, and it was just like he said.
And we went to shortly after that, we started going to Vanderbilt, and I remember, again, is this how things change, just it's ignorance through different seasons of life. I remember the thing that bothered me the most, and I feel embarrassing to say, the thing that bothered me the most, I didn't even hear the heart issue. I'm like, well, okay, I'm sure they can fix that. But he's got Down syndrome. That was the first thing that bothered me. And I remember because I was just ignorant to it. I thought the heart was going to be the easy thing. I'm like, well, I'm sure that's just they can work. I didn't know. Maybe it's just don't know. Yeah, maybe it's just a stent, or maybe it was a little surgery and they can fix it. But we're going to have a Down syndrome child, and I feel embarrassed even saying that. It's we just didn't know. And I remember when those leading up to it, everything, those months of waiting and stuff, and I always kind of compare it to if you get a brand new white F-150, it's like, it's all you see is this white F-150s on the road. And I can remember, like, when we found out Riley was going to have Down syndrome. I honestly don't ever remember seeing that many children or adults with Down syndrome. Like, I mean, I really don't. But during that time, I can remember vividly at Lowe's, at Camino, at Walmart, at the ball field. It's like everywhere we went, there was a child with Down syndrome. There was a family. And I'm like, it was kind of one of those moments of like, huh, okay, they look normal. They're surviving. Like, this doesn't look that
They're
bad.
doing life.
They're doing life.
Yeah.
And
Which I think also just a couple things you've said so far just makes me think about, like, just how God is in the details. Like, you're talking about when, you're having to leave the Murfreesboro Hospital and Deanna's there. Like, somebody, like, God, and like, I think, moments like that God just gives us these little wings of like, it's gonna be okay, right? Like, I think he loves us so much to do that for us, to just plant those people in our path and in our journey, to just refocus us, give us hope when it seems hopeless.
And my papa, he and during all, like I said, and it was kind of the final little moment of like, okay, all right, I see you, God. It's like my grandpa, he was a very faithful man, did his devotions every morning, and he got this new devotional book somebody gave him, or I don't know how he got it, and he called me one day. He's like, hey, I got something I want you to read. So, okay. And that devotional that day was a devotional about a father and a son, and the little boy had Down syndrome, and he called it Up syndrome. And and it was just one of those moments of like, okay, in the past like 6 weeks, I've seen like 5 Down syndrome kids everywhere from Nashville to Tullahoma. Like, my grandpa's just got a random devotion book. It's like,
Random, right?
Like, okay, and that's and then that's when things like of the heart issue kind of started really, as he was growing, like, they started seeing this, the more severity of his heart defect, and initially his diagnosis was called unbalanced AVSD, atrioventricular septal defect, and this is the part I always forget, is either the right side or his left side of his heart.
I feel like it was his right side.
I know, it's just a shame.
I'm gonna say his right.
His right side was 80% larger than the left side. His heart was 80-20. And that's not a very, that's, can't survive like that. And so we were up, that whole pregnancy was staring down, not good odds, because he was going to have to go through, there's 3 major surgeries he was going to face. First one was going to be like just when he was like a few days old, and they were pretty much going to re-engineer his heart to be a single ventricle heart. They were just going to do away with the small side of his heart, and he was going to be a single ventricle heart. And a typical child, that's a very high risk, very dangerous surgery. But when you add in his Down syndrome, like, part of his Down syndrome of his anatomy is he had just didn't have good lungs, and that was
low muscle tone too.
Yeah, low muscle tone, and it was going to. And they honestly didn't give us a very high probability. They say, he'll probably be born, but the likelihood of him surviving, like, very long after, because like, the surgeries are gonna take a toll on his little body, and like with his birth, the birth defects that do come with, the child with Down syndrome was going to be not a good outlook, and and I remember get kind of those defining moments looking back of like, all right, God, like, what are you doing here? It was I think we already kind of accepted that he probably wasn't going to make it, like, he was going to be born, and we had the team of doctors lined up to do these surgeries, and it was like our last echo, prenatal echo before he was born, maybe like 3 or 4 weeks before he was born, kind of do a check-in. And that, we've always asked for specific prayers. So, hey, we need that other side of the heart to grow. Because, like, if it don't, like, very specific prayer, we need that heart to grow. And did that go? And and she posted that picture. When this kid, when they did Zlecko, Riley he had a little thumb up. Gave us a little thumbs up there. Hey, little buddy. And the doctor came back in. And I'll never forget his first words. He sat down. He said, "Well, this don't usually happen." He goes, "But that side of his heart that's been small so times like it's grew in the past 2 weeks." And we're like, "Well, what does that mean?" He goes, "Well," he said, "we were 80-20 the past 8 months." He goes, "Well, we're about 55-45 now." And I'm like, "Well, what does that mean?" He goes, "Well, all this stuff we were going to do," he's like, "we ain't got to do it no more." And he's like, "I think he's going to have a shot now." And I remember we left there, it was like, wow. Like, that was our first, I would say, like, our first big miracle we experienced with Riley. And the story of, like, when we left, like, Riley gave us a little thumbs up. And now Riley had a chance, you know. And so we left there feeling pretty good. That was our first big victory, I think. We were like, all right, like, I think we got a chance.
Well, that's where we're going to pause things for now, Tabitha, but don't worry, we're just getting started.
Ashley and Aaron Hice will be back with us next time to share the rest of their story. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next.
Make sure you're subscribed to the 1211 podcast so that you don't miss part 2 or any other episodes. We'll see you then, friends.